Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some and peace out to the rest of you. Black heart, sign of black in, shining again. Asking you to hit that share button because the message is more important than the messenger. So, this message, you can probably guess already, is going to be about specifically something that's being pushed on brothers right now. A lot of sisters are saying that brothers they're jumping the fence and they're leaving behind broken black families and they're running off and building stable and intact families in other communities with women of other, they say races, but what they really mean is just not specifically ADOS women. Let's call that what it is. Because God forbid that she is black and gorgeous, but she's from a society and culture that does not tell her to drive off the man and be hard on the man, and she keeps the man. That's still not good enough. What they're demanding is that we take the ADOS, Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire and all of her dysfunction and stay with her and deal with the abuse until she says, I don't want you no more, I'm effing somebody else, and then takes us to court for spousal support, child support. Taking a look at this, here she is standing outside of a Chick-fil-A. Looks like she's only been getting all the heavy stuff and the fried stuff. She could be in a lot worse shape, and she is cute to look at. And in all honesty, if I was at my current age and she and I had been together when she was younger and hotter, I could probably stay with someone like her. But I have to get the best. And see, I'm not the only one that feels this way. Like I said, I'm in my early 40s. If I got her, and I'm talking, let's say that, assuming that we are of the same faith, because I'm a Muslim, I don't believe in fornication or the extramarital dating as many understand it. But let's say that if she and I were of the same faith, either before I became Muslim or she was Muslim and I was Muslim, whatever the case is, if I got her, while she was 25 and in shape, didn't have too much of this extra, and she ain't got too far to go to get back into good shape. But if I got her when she was younger and in better shape than this, then okay, sure, we get this age, kids and responsibilities, I wouldn't leave. Unless she just got sick of me or she changed as a person. Okay, I'll stick around. I don't mind it. But take a look at that caption. Girl, that little gut don't bother a real nigga. This guy, if it's a man that made this meme to begin with, this guy was obviously indoctrinated. Because even if he personally does not mind this, and there are men that don't, the fact is that he feels the need to promote this to men that do, and to say this to reassure the women that know that men have a right to not want this. It is the promotion of the outer shape while insisting that the man be financially and physically in shape that is hypocritical and a doggone shame. And the man that made this meme, if it's a man to begin with, obviously has a self-image problem, because look who he put into this, look who he painted into this or cut and pasted onto this. SpongeBob SquarePants to represent himself and what he likes. Miss me with that sure bit. Fit the guck out my face with that. It is the promotion of this. In Exhibit B, oh, you don't date big girls? Boy, bye, somebody's son do. And look at the labels. Now, the issue with this is the type of attitude that comes with it. Now, the attitudes aren't always shown in the photos. I mean, you just got some smiles but look at the bottom left, where it looks like they're at a carnival or something. She got a leg up on her. There's an attitude that you can see there in him and in her. Let me explain something else too. I want you to look at every single one of these ladies. The one in the bottom right, wearing the fancy dress, is probably the best, most decent one. And for me personally, like I've said before, if I got with her when she was younger and in better shape, I could stay with her if we got older and she got to this. But look at the rest of them. They just let themselves go. For what? But look at, none of the men are as heavy as these ladies are. None. The man in the bottom right might weigh about the same as her, maybe. But he's not in, but then again, she's not in terrible shape. But now you look at the other ones. None of these men weighs nearly as much as these women do. And the issue is that, what I'm gonna say to you men, is that even though many of us don't actually prefer this, there are too many of us that will settle for this because we're trained to. And so as to not be a hypocrite, I'll tell you straight up. For my current wife, I'm not allowed to describe the physical attributes of a wife as a Muslim, but what I'm gonna say is that because she is not ADOS, she has more room to play and let herself go than an ADOS woman would. What's the reason? Her attitude is so much better. It's not self-hatred on my part. It is that her attitude is far better than most ADOS women, even the ADOS woman that has let herself go to this doggone point. Let's just be honest. Let's just call it what it is. You take the one on the bottom right and you take 20 pounds off of her, just the midsection, and leave everything else intact. Butt, breasts, some of the thighs. You know what her attitude is going to be. In order for her to even so much as be amenable to giving most of you a shot, she has to look like what she does there. And even then, there's certain things about the attitude that ain't gonna change. What they ain't gonna do. You don't have to deal with this when you bounce. So gentlemen, brothers, even if you are into this, you still get a better deal going abroad because you can find this if that's what you're into, and you will see a better attitude from it. From the situation. When I say it, I'm not calling the women it, but from that situation, from them, from the ladies, you will see a better attitude. Looking at these photos though, these men have to be the sizes they are to get the women that are these sizes. And as you know, this is a must. They don't have to be broke necessarily to be in that kind of scenario. They could just be in the middle. This is the doggone shame. What sisters are saying in the West, the gynocracy, the matriarchy is saying, we have the right to get as big as a father-mucking house. Nigga, you better stay in shape financially and physically. You don't hold us to standards. We judge you, not the other way around. That's what's being said to us. That's not all. See, I guess what I could go into Exhibit C. If there is one that does exist, I could, but I'm not going to go into it, and I'm going to tell you why. All it is a picture of a man. He has a lady over his shoulder. He's picked her up, and she's big. And the caption says, "Girl, I'm too big. You can't pick me up. Me." And he's biting her leg while he has her over the shoulder. As if to say, girl, you're scrumptious, you're delicious. And granted, it's actually very African for men to prefer a little extra meat on the bones. I'm not gonna lie about that. I mean, I've met brothers from West Africa, Central Africa, even East Africa, and thin is not bad, but thick is better. However, obese? No. And sisters, I will be honest, can put on more weight than women of other races, and they can put on more weight before they become unattractive than women of other races because some of the weight's gonna go to the right places. I'm fine with them big old jiggly booties. Great, excellent. There's something to be said for it. But there is something to be said also for maintaining a healthy weight, and sisters in the West are not for that. They don't think they should have to, but you should. And they're going to sit up and scrutinize your finances. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I say that there's an imbalance, a mismatch. You got to be Superman for her to be Lois Lane. And with sisters, you got to be Superman for her to be two Lois Lanes in one. And that's a doggone shame. I'm sick of that myself. I'm sick of seeing you brothers go through it. The other thing, I'm tired of the whole entire standard, but I'm also sick of seeing you brothers accept this. My own wife said to me once, she has lived in the Midwestern United States before, and she said to me, Black, why is it that I would see these skinny or muscular black men with big old out of shape white women? I asked her, when you saw them with black women, how did the black women look? She said, oh, you're right, same thing. Why is that? She asked me, and I straight told her, because in our society, the community's been run by the ladies, and there was a lag. There were a few decades where they ran it, and it wasn't completely as up as what it is now. But lately it's gotten even really out of hand because, what do women want? And these women were trying to raise these guys to validate what women want, but they were still they were still raising men that women would not want. In a nutshell, what I'm saying is it's because our community's up. That's why. And the boys are taught that they have to do and be and have so much to qualify for a regular, run-of-the-mill, less than average woman. That's why you see what you see. She said, well, for women, that's a good deal, but not so much for you guys. She got it. She understood it. So I'm not even going to go to Exhibit C. What I'm going to say is this. If the community needs families, fine. Ladies, you can't sustain families when you are insisting that the man do and have and be so much, and you don't have to meet these same standards. Families are unsustainable. It's not because men are just beating the women up and just, sticking babies in them and then running off. That's not really what it is. There's an imbalance when you come across men that will stick around. That's the thing that's really threatening the black family. Dissolving it, and therefore about to pretty much dissolve the community. That's what it is. And I'm not going to sit up and say, well, this is how we save it, because I don't think it can be saved. I want it to be, but I don't see how it can be. Only way it might possibly be able to be saved, and the only way I could even find out if there is a hope, is if those of you listening that are part of the problem and you know who the hell you are, run to the others and you tell them, look, we got to get our stuff together. Our culture is fuck. Same thing I have to tell the Bedouins around here that I've taught. I've had to say to them, your culture is a problem. It sounds like I'm just this bad Westerner, but no, I'm a black Westerner, not a white one. I'm not telling your culture's inferior because I'm white and you're not. I'm telling you your culture's inferior because it's inferior. Because you have a revelation from God, but you want to practice Bedouin culture instead of what you claim to be so proud of as a religion. I have to tell them this, and it hurts. They don't like it. But some of them have to go and tell others, look, we've been screwing up, we've been effing up, and that's why this region of the world is not more advanced than what it could be. Not more advanced than what it is now. And that's why we have all this untapped potential. That's why it is that people, that even people in other Gulf nations look down on us, because we stupid. You're going to have to go and take this message. Don't talk back to me. Go and tell this to many of the other sisters in the gynocracy and the matriarchy. You don't have a right to blow the fuck, look like you swallowed a grenade, and then tell brothers they got to do and have and be so much. You don't have a right to wait until you're either too old or just too fat to decide that you're going to make some minor adjustments to your attitude. And even then, you still got a bad attitude that can't compete with women from outside the West. Because I can tell you now, I can tell y'all straight up, y'all ain't the only ones. You're the main ones, but you ain't the only ones that can have the physical figures that you can have. I was shocked, but there was a time I went into Malaysia and I saw an elderly Malaysian woman pushing a food cart. She was wearing shorts. I knew she was elderly, but she looked good. And she was in shape. She was thick like a sister. It wasn't terribly common, but it's there. And if I wanted to, I could have chatted her up. I could have found out, I could have gotten her number, gotten in touch with some male relatives, and set it up, started talking about marriage, and I could have been digging them guts out. With no problem. Not worried that Allah's gonna throw me in hell for fornication, because that wouldn't have even been what it was. I could have. I just happened to stumble across someone and see someone like that. I didn't even stare. I was able to see how nice she looked in that 1 second glance that you're allowed to give Islamically when you see that there's somebody there. She was that bad to where I could see it like that and then look away. I still saw it. That's how bad she was. I could tell you that. So what I'm saying is that brothers can go abroad, and brothers actually have an edge up on some of the other competition. So when these brothers do go abroad and they see someone that's like that, bad like you, but still from wherever else, and hell, brothers can go to places where the population is still mostly black, like the DR or Salvador de Bahia, Brazil, or back to the motherland for that matter. Brothers can go to these areas where there's sisters and find somebody even badder than what you find in the States, with a better attitude. And you want to talk about the black family inside the US. You want to insist on that. When in reality, all you really want is for brothers that are in shape physically and financially to pass up what every other brother, what every other man in the world actually would look for in their own women, so that you don't have to make better decisions about what you eat and how much exercise you'll do. That's all it is. Like I said, we have made it too easy for you. That's been our mistake. Nothing else. There's nothing else that you can blame us for doing. And even then, making it too easy for you, we were trained for it. You had some old nigga simps that taught us that 3 decades ago when I was coming up. And now some of you were just mad because my generation, my age group, benefited from social media well enough to see the game and then turn around and say, no, shuck that fit. We're going to tell these young cats no more. And Super Sly, you got some nerve telling us not to tell the young guys not to so-called poison their minds. If you think that what we're doing is poisoning their minds, it's because you're so used to drinking poisoned water that you don't know it's poison. And so now you think that fresh, clean water is poison. That's what the issue is. When really the most that we can do in a short term, Super Sly, the most we can do short term is to dilute the toxin in the water they're already getting, and you think that's poison. No, bruh, it's not. We're being offered bad deals in the West. We leave the West, go elsewhere, and we're getting better deals. End of story. And a lot of brothers ain't running to women of other races like you think. A lot of brothers are going to the DR and Colombia and Brazil looking for the black women. And for your information, nigga, there are guys that go to the motherland. I know because I'm in the groups with them and I see them talking. I don't say anything, but I see them talking. I'm one of them. Married to someone in the motherland, from the motherland. You got African Americans that go to the motherland, whether they pay to play or they do what I would recommend, which is marriage. They're going to the motherland for it. And if you knew more about it, you would be saying that they're taking advantage of the poverty over there. That's what you would be saying. When in fact, that's not necessarily what they're doing. Anyway, I think you all understand what I'm getting at. Ain't gonna be you can't have a black family with conditions like this so you can kiss the black community goodbye. Maybe it's worth a shot if you do what the hell I just told you, but I don't know that it can be salvaged anymore. Thanks for listening. Hopefully I will be wrong. Black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual male power to the brothers that like them thin too as well, just because you don't like it.